in this clan war. I also don't know how much it's out of. I'll ask that too. When I get into the game. It might be a best of 9. It seems to be like the standard clan war best of thing. Could also be best of 7. Not sure it's gonna be best of 5, 7, or 9 when it comes down to these clan wars, but we'll find out, I swear. But seems like we're gonna be loading up in just a second. There's actually a lot of spectators, so if it takes like 50 billion minutes, that's why. Because as you can see, my computer's awesome. It loaded straight away. But here we go. Alright, so we are on Daybreak, Ladder Edition, I do believe. And we are gonna have, complicated name, NeSimuugi for You Are Gaming as the pink Zerg. I love that color. It's a nice color. And his opponent's gonna be aBstract for Team LaG. And he's gonna be the orange Protoss. And he's questioning. In fact, he didn't actually want to be pink, so that makes me really, really sad. Oh well. I think it looks quite dashing on a Zerg hatchery, but that's just me, apparently. Other people seem to have problems with it, whatever. Anyways, sorry if I'm getting kind of shaky on this first few minutes, but it was kind of like an impromptu cast, and I'm kind of like getting into the mood. I was just playing LA Noire, and that's why I have this free time. I was playing video games. Of course I was. It was actually a really interesting game. I got like 2 hours into it. If you guys want to go pick that up while we have some dead time right here. And we do in fact have dead time, but let's see. Let's talk about PvZ. What do you expect in a PvZ? Well, you can expect a lot of 2-base all-ins a lot of times, but Daybreak is actually commonly favored for Zerg, mostly because of the famous Zergs who love this map. But I've heard from a lot of other, masters, high masters, grandmasters saying, oh, Zerg, love this map. It doesn't matter if you're really popular or not, they like this map, and it's true, I like this map when I was a Platinum Zerg. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe I feel like Daybreak when I win on it, because he wins all the time on it. Maybe that's it. But Imugi, because I don't, I'm never going to say his name again. I'm just going to go with the pink Zerg. Probably feels like he has a bit of a more comfortable lead right here because he's on a map that, hey, Zergs kind of like it more than anyone else, but actually, we don't have a Forge Fast expand coming down from our Protoss player, which is really interesting. Now, it's not totally uncommon nowadays, because, I don't know if you guys have been watching the recent stuff, but this is like the new, super cool metagame type of stuff. The Gateway expand versus Zerg. Forge Fast expand is no longer the only thing you have to do against Zerg, which months ago, it was like do it or die. Wasn't that like Naniwa's statement or something? Forge Fast expand or die trying. But now, actually, since the metagame has really evolved and Zergs usually go for that super fast third anyways, gateway opening, pretty safe. And it ends up having this really cool, oddly timed kind of early pressure attack that kind of goes with it before you get that Nexus up, or after you get the Nexus up, not before. That would be a really fast timing attack. But, that can catch the Zerg off guard. It comes before or as the Roach Warren is finishing. And it can get, a few kills, can force a few more units than the Zerg really wants to give out. Stuff like that. So you put on a little pressure and you're able to successfully get a Forge up a lot later than, Forge Fast expand. But I can't really explain it in the fullest detail. I'm not a Protoss player myself, not really anyways. But if you go watch, I think it was GSL round of 4, Nani versus Daybreak, I think he did it, so go study that, go look at that. Really interesting stuff, and of course you might see it in like the MLG that's coming up, Rally. Gotta put that in there because I'm going there, so excited. But you might see it, and you're gonna watch this cast, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, I know what he's doing, I got this, because Zombie told me about it. And I'll be like, yes I did. Mentally, because I'm just that in tune with my viewers. But no. We have a Nexus, about halfway done. And the Forge, of course, does actually follow this up, so you still do get a Forge. It's not like you're totally on gateways, because you do need that Forge. When you push out, you're going to want a cannon defending your front, in case of those run-bys that are so common when you want to buy time for the Broodlords or whatever tech you're getting. Two-base all-ins, very popular, but can be at least halted for a little bit by doing Ling run-bys and the like, so that's why you definitely still need the cannon and the wall off, as you can see right here. And he's just going to put down a cybernetics core right there soon afterwards. In fact, no, he's going to the gateway. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. He had a cybernetics core so long ago. But he's going to be putting something else down here. And here's what I was talking about with the really weird early timing. Not that many units, 2 stalkers, sometimes there's a zealot in there. But as you can see, he doesn't really have any units. He's actually making 20 lings. Wow, it's actually kind of an overreaction. You know, it's very possible that he hasn't seen this. Oh, he's going to get the queen? No, he doesn't get the queen. That actually would have been really, really worth it if he hadn't gotten the queen. But you know what? 20 lings, that's also kind of worth it, because those 20 lings are probably not going to do any damage. They're going to go up to the front, see a forge, see a cannon, hopefully. There should be a cannon coming down some way. But, you know, either way, they're going to see 2 sentries, and they're going to be, well, I can't do anything. I'm slow lings. Speed is about to finish, so that's, you know, at least one thing going for him. But he's not going to push forward through this. He could... I mean, with 20 lings, he can stay there for a long time, because, you know, what do sentries do? They tickle, but yeah, he doesn't even want to, see. He might come again later. He might just be like, hey, I'm here, don't move out, or I will just, you know, totally wreck your face. But those 20 lings not going to do quite as much as he would have liked, having been forced to make them to begin with. But that's just what that early kind of gateway opening timing attack does to some Zergs who aren't accustomed to it. They're like, whoa, what are you doing? Is this like a 4-gate? Like, what's going on? So they make a lot more lings than they probably didn't want to. But as you can see, he's at least, I believe, probably just going with this ling style, so probably going to get Mutalisk with it, so at least it wasn't like a total, you know, out of, I'm never going to use these again until I have to counterattack type of lings. It's going to be part of his composition, and they're going to be upgraded as well. Only 1 Evo chamber as of right now. Probably going to get a second one much later on after the Spire. But what I'm really interested to see is, will aBstract get that third? It looks like he's in fact gearing up for it. This ling nicely positioned, going to see the third. Well, it's going to see the probe anyways. Not going to see the third, but it's going to pretty much, you know, hey, a probe went down there. Unless he's faking it, which is always possible, so you should always double check if you're on ladder and you do this. Always double check. They could fake it so easily. But generally that Nexus is going to be put down if they bother bringing a probe over there. As you can see from the Zerg side though, he knows about it, he feels really safe, he's like, I got this, everything's going to plan, I'm not going to be 2-base all in, I don't have to really start fretting and worrying, which is what I do when I think there's 2-base all in. I think I lose 2-base all ins more so because I'm afraid of them than actually just them. But he's getting a lot more drones. He's currently up to 61 drones, going to get 5 more in there, well, actually even more. So, and he definitely wants to get to around like 75 drones. Would be absolutely perfect before just stopping droning completely, until he wants to build that spine crawler wall at least. But then he's going to go ahead and get his Spire up. As you can see, it's about halfway done. Well, 1/4 of the way done. But the second Evo chamber is coming down as well, so he's going to get those double upgrades happening, and he does definitely want this macro hatchery. Very nice that he puts down with this type of style, the Ling Muta style. You cannot just have your main hatcheries. You need 1, maybe even 2 macro hatcheries, because Ling's very larva heavy, but not, you know, mineral heavy. You need a lot more larva, or like insane injects, but even that, you don't want to count on that. You definitely need macro hatches. A last Zerg that I actually saw when I was casting with Xander, was that, no, it was Saturday. Oh, time flies so fast when you're actually not going to school 5 days out of the week. It's great, but it really messes up your timing. It's like being on summer vacation. But, yeah, we saw a Zerg who actually was very into the Ling style, so he would get 2 macro hatches every single time, and I really liked it because he actually was using his minerals, which so often when you see people go Ling Mutalisk and they get, you know, 2-base, they get this weird 3-base timing, you know, not quite maxed, something like that, they have tons of money and yet they're not making anything, and that always seems to happen. So that's why I really like the 2-base or 2 extra macro hatcheries from that last player that we saw on Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't remember exactly who it was, but I'm sure if you look at the VODs, you'll be able to find it if you look for his EVP. The observers going around town, does he have 2? He has 2 observers, yeah, I kind of like that. And what is he going for? Robo with another forge on the way, so blink and +1 armor, so he saw the Spire, of course. We saw that Observer flying around, so the Blink's definitely needed. He wants to get at the High Templars pretty quickly. As you can see, there isn't any Colossus production, although eventually he will want Colossus to take care of the Broodlings. Unless this game ends before that late game, Colossus are actually, in fact, needed for that late game composition. But as for now, dealing with the Mutalisk is his #1 priority. With 3 bases, it's very difficult. The counterattacks, the mobility of this style can be very hard for an inexperienced Protoss player to defend against, but as you can see, aBstract is doing really well. He has 2 groups of units put together. Wow, that's a lot of cannons. It is Artosis Pylon though, but that's a lot of damage. Even if you try to snipe it, that's a lot of damage onto the Mutalisk, so he is just pretty much perfectly set up in position. And as you can see, there isn't much activity on the minimap from the pink player, unfortunately. The Mutalisk have pretty much stopped at 10 Mutalisk. As you can see, he's going up to Hive, getting Infestors, getting his upgrades. So he's really stopped with the Mutalisk, which I kind of like. You can't always go for that option of just getting a whole ton of Mutalisk. I mean, like 20, 30, maybe even 40 if you're really allowed to do it. And you can do that, and you can make it. You may be able to get away with it. They might not get High Templars or Archons or stuff like that, and you can do tons of damage. Or they're totally prepared, and you're like, well, great, what do I do? So, but the problem is that now that his Mutalisk harassment has pretty much effectively failed, like in its like curb stomped in the face. He's low on supply. He's teching right now to try and make up for it, but that teching means he's so low on supply, and that is a lot of Blink Stalkers. Lings are pretty good against Stalkers, but Blink really helps him out. That's what the Fungals are for, but there are just so many. I mean, there goes some Infestors. All their energy is used anyway, so 4 Infestors went down actually with that Blink, so that's it for the Infestors. And the Lings, they finally get in there. The Force Fields are pretty good in the beginning, but they get in there and they just get demolished. I mean, there's +1/+1 on the Stalkers, which isn't that great. Sometimes you see +3 at this point in time, but still, there's just so much. He's up by 50 supply. He has a Warp Prison to warp in. This seems to be the end for Pink Zerg. These last batch of Lings are going to try and do what they can. There's 42 more on the way. The upgrades would have been so nice if they were allowed to finish. But unfortunately, it's just a really nice attack. He defended the Mutalisk so well, and he was like, you know what? That didn't do anything, and I know you don't have that many Mutalisks. You keep showing them to me, so I think I'm going to push. And he was right. So he just caught him before any tech could finish. Not a huge Zerg army to really combat with. The spines weren't up. The spine crawler wall he was making didn't come up. And yeah, that's it for game #1. Really nicely played by aBstract, really. He kind of just read the Zerg player like a book right there, and knew exactly when to strike. So